sanctions on officials, entities and individuals it accused of providing support to Syrian President Bashar al-Assad as Washington continued to impose sanctions aimed at cutting off funds for Assad's regime government. The action, which also targeted the Syrian Ministry of Petroleum and Mineral Resources, marks another round of sanctions in Washington's bid to push Assad's regime back to the United Nations-led negotiations and broker an end to the country's nearly decade-long war. The U.S. Treasury Department in a statement said it slapped sanctions on Syrian military officials, members of the parliament, government of Syrian entities, as well as on Syrian and Lebanese people it accused of attempting to revive Syria's petroleum industry. Saeb Erekat, a veteran for the Palestinians for more than 3 decades, died on Tuesday, weeks after being infected by the coronavirus at the age of 65. Erekat is involved in nearly every round of peace negotiations between Israel and the Palestinians, going back to the landmark Madrid Conference in 1991. His Fatah Party announced his death in a statement. Armenian Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan said the military conflict over the Nagorno-Karabakh region on Tuesday morning after more than a month of bloodshed. Russian agencies reported on Tuesday a Kremlin spokesman confirmed the news. There was no official immediate reaction from Baku. The declaration has followed 6 weeks of heavy fighting and advancement by the Monday forces. Baku said on Monday it had seized dozens more settlements in Karabakh a day after proclaiming victory in the battle for the enclave's strategically positioned second largest city. According to Turkey's official gazette on Tuesday, Turkish President Tayyip Erdogan has appointed former Deputy Prime Minister Lutfi Evlan as Finance Minister to replace Erdogan's son-in-law, who stepped down on social media a day after he announced on social media that he was quitting for health reasons and would spend more time with his family. His resignation, however, followed the dismissal over the weekend of the central bank chief and his replacement by former finance minister Nasi Agbar. Jordanians head to the polling representatives amid strict health measures imposed due to the coronavirus pandemic, which claimed 1,233 lives and infected around 109,000 people. Government authorities restricted electoral campaigns and public gatherings in order to prevent the spread of the virus and have only allowed advertisement on street signs. There are around 4.1 million eligible voters who will cast ballots in 1,824 polling stations in 23 constituencies. The results of elections, supervised by an independent electoral commission, are expected Wednesday morning. President Donald Trump will push ahead on Tuesday with legal challenges to the results of last week's election after U.S. Attorney General William Barr told federal prosecutors to look into any directive to prosecutors prompted the top lawyer overseeing voter fraud investigations to resign in protest. It came after days of attacks on the integrity of the election by President Trump and Republican allies who have alleged widespread voter fraud without providing evidence. President Trump has not conceded the election to Democrat Joe Biden, who on Saturday secured more than 270 votes in the Electoral College needed to win the presidency. Peru's Congress voted to oust President Martin Vizcarra Tuesday in an impeachment trial over corruption allegations, the second effort by lawmakers to remove him in a matter of months. President Vizcarra said he would accept the Congress vote and not take any legal action and leave the presidential palace. Minority Popular Action is expected to assume the presidency on Tuesday and will remain in office until the end of July of 2021, when the leader's term was due to expire. U.S. pharmaceutical giant Pfizer said tests involving more than 40,000 people had provided results that were a critical milestone in the search for a vaccine, as global infections soared past 50 million, including an alarming 10 million now in the U.S. alone. The drug, being developed jointly with German firm BioNTech, is one of more than 40 candidate vaccines, but no other has yet made similar claims about its effectiveness. The company said that they could pass the final hurdles for a U.S. rollout later this month and could supply up to 50 million doses globally this year and up to Brazil's health regulator said Tuesday it had suspended clinical trials of a Chinese-developed COVID-19 vaccine after an adverse incident involving a volunteer recipient, a blow for one of the most advanced vaccine candidates. The regulator, Anvisa, said in a statement it had ruled to interrupt the clinical trial of the CoronaVac vaccine after a serious adverse incident on October 29th. It said it could not give details on what happened because of privacy regulations, but that such incidents included death, potentially fatal side effects, serious disability, hospitalization, birth defects, and other clinically significant events. There were over 59,000 COVID-19 patients in hospitals across the United States on Tuesday. The country's for the disease as new infections at record levels for the sixth consecutive day. The harsh statistics tallied by Reuters cemented the United States' position as the nation worst affected by the coronavirus pandemic, even as drug maker Pfizer Incorporated provided some hope with successful late-stage tests of its vaccine. President-elect Joe Biden hailed Pfizer's progress but urged Americans to wear masks, as he noted a vaccine may not be widely available for many months. The health authority said on Tuesday China reported 22 new COVID-19 cases as of November 9th, down from 33 cases a day earlier. The National Health Commission said one of the while the remaining 20 reported by people returning from overseas. The Commission also reported 25 new asymptomatic cases, up from 9 a day earlier. On Tuesday, one new locally transmitted case was reported in the city of Buyang in the eastern province of Anhui, the province's first since February 27th. This case is not included in the November 9th count. After coming ashore in the Florida Keys overnight, Tropical Storm Eta will wander the eastern Gulf of Mexico, dumping heavy rain on the Sunshine State and racking it with gusty winds. According to the National Hurricane Center, Eta will re-strengthen as it meanders over the southeastern Gulf of Mexico on Tuesday. Flash and urban flooding will also be possible for the Bahamas and the remainder of southern and eastern Florida over the next several days.